We're going to let the chat kind of roll in a second. I know people are coming in and out. We appreciate you guys being here. Also, if you are watching this video live, go ahead and skip forward a minute. We're going to, well, actually, you don't have to skip forward. We can just get started and let the people roll in. Guys, welcome to the Joyage Kingdom. In today's episode, we are interviewing round 2 with FEUDALZ community manager SESH. It's going to be dope. We had him on actually, how long ago was that, the first one? Was it, I
18
just
years
watched
ago.
18 years. It feels like 18 years. Okay, so,
NFT
yeah,
time.
exactly. 3 months ago, real time. So about 18 years, give or take, in real life time. And honestly, I just rewatched it while I was right before I went to the shower. And it's crazy because a lot of the things that we were talking about, I feel like are still true to this day, which is good about like conversations because you can kind of hear what people are really about at the core and what really matters to them. And I'm glad I kind of asked those questions in that first one. I was a little bit worried when I was listening to the interview. I was like, "Fuck me, I don't know how good that interview was because it was so long ago."
No, it was a good one, bro. I think we
Yeah,
touched on a lot of real topics and kind of the mentality that you need to have that staying power in the space. And, you know, how many months ago did you say? Like
3 months ago.
3 months ago. I mean, that in the NFT space, that's a long time. And
Yeah.
I mean, launching a project in November, we're almost considered like the OGs
Yeah,
of
dude.
this space
Anyone
now.
who launched before
Yeah.
December is OG.
Yeah, especially when it comes to play to earn, right? We were definitely at the forefront in the beginning of the play to earn, and now we kind of see it's kind of a trending thing where every project feels like they got to have a token or some
Yeah.
type of game coming in. And I'm kind of on here today to talk our shit and be like, nah,
Hell yeah.
we were right there at the beginning.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, listen, guys, if you're in the chat right now, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, join the kingdom, smash like in this video. I also, if you like what he has to say, or if you already like what he has to say, you like his hat, go ahead and follow him on Twitter. I have his links in the description below. It's pretty fire. We love it. And yeah, follow us on Twitter, Discords, all those things. And also, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I can pull them up. I stream on Restream. We do it like a real YouTuber now. It's a lot of things have happened back then. I've got a nice little video card so I can stream on my camera now, so it's better quality. It's been a good time. So, anyways, dude,
I noticed
what?
that, bro. Way smoother, new platform.
No problem. No problem.
Looking prettier on the new camera.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, listen. So with FEUDALZ, for people who don't know, do you want to just give like a quick breakdown of the project, kind of what you guys are about? I know last time we talked, literally you dropped alpha on the podcast. You were like, actually, like the game's starting like today, like in like 3 hours, and I was like, wait, what? And people watching were like, wait, what? And that was pretty wild. So what have you guys been up to?
Man, too much. Like to be honest, the amount of stuff that we've done in the past 3 months is pretty incredible. Real, got to give a hats off to our team, our development team, and then also our community. I think one thing FEUDALZ prides ourselves in is that we are a project that actively builds the ecosystem with our community. My job as the community manager is to constantly stay active with our community and talk to them and make sure that their voices are being heard. But at the end of the day, they know what they want out of the game and the project, and they're constantly providing amazing feedback and suggestions that I go take to the devs, and we implement that right away as soon as we can. Because most of the time the community has amazing ideas. And I think that's one thing that separates like a Web3 game from Web2, right? Like usually a company will kind of present a game and be like, this is what you get. But here we are where community is so important in Web3, and we can actively build the game with our essentially a Web2 term, our shareholders. But really it's just a big FEUDALZ family. So super grateful. But in general, for those who may not know, FEUDALZ is a play-to-earn game with a utility token golds. Kind of our motto is build, battle, earn. And so we have 3 different types of games, so to say. The first is staking. So we're about 87% staked.
Yeah, dude. God damn, that's a lot. And that's honestly been that's pretty much been the story for your project. You know, a very high level of staking in the community. It's really, really good to see.
And then I think, there we have a few hundred people that don't even know about the staking and just randomly bought into our project. So given that, I think our staking numbers are really well. But we have our Genesis collection, which is the humans. So you stake your humans to earn passive golds, and those golds accrue in the vault. And it's something that we I think we didn't have it last time. Something that we did new was implemented that vault and bank system, right? So before, when you wanted to withdraw golds from your vault, you would have to pay a gas fee, right? So all of our game mechanics, whether the PvP or staking, now is all done off chain. So whenever you make a move in the game, or if you want to withdraw golds from your vault, it's all done off chain for zero gas fees. I mean, our developers were kind of on the forefront of gas optimization, and I like to be like, you know, it's on the blockchain. We were kind of the first projects to have like $10 gas fees back in November.
Wild, dude. That is
wild. So that's kind of the staking game. And then now we also have the PvP game, where you need a lands to play the game. And that's like your lands matches up against someone else's lands, and based on the number of assets that you have, whether it be humans, orcs, or elves, you get like a attack or defense bonus that affects the dice roll mechanism. It's like Dungeons and Dragons type vibes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So if the more assets you have, or the more rare your assets are or lands are, the greater the chance of your dice roll being higher is. And so that's kind of the PvP game. And then we also have kind of since we are in NFTs and we're basically degenerate gamblers, we have a little gambling game called the Arena game, where it's a kind of like a fighting game in between the elves and the orcs, and you bet amount of golds on which side you think is going to win. And
I saw a video about that, actually, I think on your Twitter, on the Twitter page, right? I think I can pull that up.
Yeah, we try to keep everyone as involved as possible. But some alpha for you here again today. We actually launched so we've gone through 2 iterations, patches, if you will, of our V1 game. What you're showing right now is our first patch. We've had another patch since then.
Damn.
And actually what we have now is V2 beta has just opened up. So if you're hearing this now, you can go to beta.feudals.com and try out the beta version of the game. And so what that has done is, now we're kind of moving into the RuneScape of NFTs, right? So we've added, each lands will have different resources. So if you have a forest land, you might have some wood that you can harvest, where you can build a lumber mill to harvest that wood, that resource, and potentially earn golds and add bonuses for you to win your battles every day in the PvP. So we have heroes, we have some collaborations that we announced with other projects who are heroes, who, based on the rarity of your heroes that you add to your lands, once again, each hero will do different things, like adding different statistics or stealing a dice roll, things like that. We have Capsule House, the yokai. We have P. Gojira right now officially as part of our hero system within FEUDALZ. So getting ready to launch the full game after we iron out all the kinks of the beta. But that's another thing I'm really proud of, is from the beginning, we weren't a project that was like promising something and not delivering. We always had a game running. I think we were one of the first NFT blockchain games to have a fully functioning game. And our community absolutely loves it. There's so many different strategies where the amount the type of assets that you have or the amount of assets that you have greatly affect the outcome of your daily battles. So we have great discourse within our community about strategies on what type of assets to own, and what now we'll get into even deeper with the resources and the heroes and stuff. So we're constantly improving, thanks to our community and our developers. Once again, our projects just keeps getting more sophisticated, more complex in a good way, right? Because at the end of the day, you have some people who just want to click a button and make some passive income. But I believe that the staying power is when people are actually involved in the game, actually having fun with the game. So I think we're providing a really immersive experience with our game, and that sets ourselves apart from the other games out there.
Yeah, and honestly, this past few months, I've talked about this like a million times. I probably sound like a broken record, but we've had like 3 to 4 months straight of just PFP art and almost no utility whatsoever. And that was cool during the bull run because everyone's making money. But then when the market started to crash, people were like, "Wait, fuck these projects." We're like, "They're not doing anything. Why did I buy this? They're not going up in value. There's no reason for it to go up." They were like, at the end of that market, I was like, you know what? We need another resurgence of probably another gaming bull run. We're all waiting on Alex Becker's tweet, gaming bull run tweet. When that happens, everything explodes as it always does. But I mean, it's got to be time. I mean, here's the thing: there's some projects that launched, around the November time. There's some projects that launched, or like earlier, like toward the end of the summer, that talked about doing a game that have been building. There's some games that are focused on, and gaming is like their big thing, and they've been building for like 6 months. And I'm like, okay, so we're about to kind of see some shit. We're about to. I mean, you guys just had your beta version of your second thing going, and I know Evaverse just partnered with Doge Pound. They just partnered with another, I think, Battleground or something. And so play to earn. I don't know if it's gonna be play to earn. I don't know if it's gonna be some kind of game system, but it's gonna be something to do with people actually doing things where people can feel like something is happening rather than just clicking the buy button, because it's just hard. That whole style of just buy, and if it goes up, great. If not, then you fucking cut your losses and it's over. I just don't know how long that can last. And since we had that for an entire 2 months straight, I feel like it's going to be the gaming utility focus and the projects that focus on that and didn't stray from that, even though that wasn't cool in the last 2 months. It was the Hate Beast and Invisible Friends and those kind of projects. But props to you guys for sticking with it. How did the community feel during that bull run where everyone had focus on art?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in a feudal's bubble, I'd like to think, right? People who are in our community, as witnessed by the staking percentage, and I think we only have about 100 feudals listed right now in our Genesis collection. So we're a community of diamond handers and people who really believe in the team's vision and trust us because we've kind of proven ourselves by how hard we've been working, right? Yes, all these trends are happening, and from an outside perspective, I'm a little envious of these projects that kind of get away with doing the minimal because we're definitely not one of those. We're constantly on go, going crazy, hardly sleeping, because we just love the energy that our community brings forth and their passion that they have for this game. So we have no choice but to reciprocate that energy back, and because they're constantly providing us with that amazing feedback and giving us that push to keep progressing. And when you have a community that really believes in you and has stuck around as they have through the ups and downs, through the various trends, I have no other choice but to be bullish on ourselves and the community.
Yeah, man, and it is interesting because people ask, should you be buying the projects that are ultra blue chips from back in the day? Should we be buying projects that launched a long time ago? Should we be buying new projects? Like, what's the project? What's the meta? What's the alpha? Or whatever. And what people continuously, every single market fail to realize is that the longer a project's been in circulation and hasn't just rugged or slow rugged, that's like hundreds, potentially thousands of people who are involved and emotionally invested at that point, because they literally did. They went through the up and down. And when you go through an up and down with the project, it doesn't even matter like how involved you are. You're a little bit more emotionally tied to that project. You're a little bit more invested in what happens there. And to see you guys constantly on Twitter pushing your brand, always talking, and having the same energy and more than you guys did back in November, and your community actually seeing that. And then you guys pumping out your shit and say, okay, we got phase 2 out, we got these things coming. And what has probably been the biggest speed hump that you've had since November? Has there been any, or has it just been steady building?
I mean, I think all play to earn games are at the mercy of tokenomics, right? And we're all figuring it out together. And I mean, people love to say we're early in NFT space. We're even earlier in the play to earn, right? So we're all figuring this out together. It's all new territory for everyone. But since then, we have added a financial expert to the team. We have a full dedicated team just for the game. Shout out to them. They've been working super hard. So, I mean, building a game is not easy. And as you just said, some people are taking over 6 months to show anything. So, I think just having a game out, functioning, going, and constantly improving it is a challenge within itself. And to do it at the speed at which we're doing is not an easy feat.
Yeah, 100%. And how much has the community helped with the? Because I remember in the first conversation you said, the community is super strong, super smart, and you guys would, put out questions and they fucking answer them, and you guys would be like, "Thanks, dude. Thank you. I appreciate that answer. Actually, we'll use that." How much has that helped in the gaming aspect, or is it a completely different animal?
No, actually, everything we are today is because of the community. Like, I'm proud to say it, actually. The game is the way it is, and the reason why we even have beta is because we need that valuable feedback from our community. Even before we launched the open beta, we had a few key people in our closed beta. So we really rely upon the community. We have a great two-way relationship where they trust us to deliver and we trust them to give us that valuable feedback so that we can create a superior product, right? It would be easier to kind of just keep things inside the team and present something to the community, but we're taking that tougher route where maybe it takes a little bit longer. I mean, for our terms, but because if you zoom out, we're working faster than most teams out there. But going back in terms of our perspective, we'd rather take a couple more weeks, listen to the community, and work on what they are suggesting and create a superior product to present to the world. We want to always put our best foot forward every step of the way.
Dude, what has been the biggest difference since November, since when you guys launched? Like the sentiment around NFTs, the culture, the maturity maybe of the market and the people in it. What do you think has been the biggest changes since our first conversation? Because that was an entirely different world in general. Just the entire literal community was so different. But there's also some things that are the same. So what have you found? Being a community manager, especially.
Aside from being 20 years older, no. I mean, to be honest, like, I'm so consumed with FEUDALZ. Like, I don't know if people understand, like, but even when I go to sleep, I'm thinking about FEUDALZ, like, constantly, right? And as soon as I wake up, I'm checking the Discord for what people have saying. Like, part of my job as community managers to make sure that I'm super accessible and everyone's voice is heard. Like, my DMs are open both on Discord and Twitter. I leave nobody on red because every single person's input is valuable to me. And so I'm kind of been focused only on FEUDALZ, and I kind of I'm aware of what's going on outside in the NFT world, but to be honest, I don't think it affects us. Like, I really do feel like 5-6 months down the road now, we really built something that is super resilient and is going to stand through we've made it this far, and it proves that we'll stand the test of time no matter what is going on in the actual NFT market. I feel like when you build a strong community that sees the long-term vision and have showed that they trust in us, the team, and they're building with us, I think we've kind of weathered the ups and downs of whatever may be happening outside. And so I'm kind of just hyper focused on feudals. There's nothing else I have going on in my life right now, and so I'm kind of living under that feudals bubble right now.
I feel you. I feel you. I've been in Colorado living at my parents' house just because I wasn't even supposed to be here, and then I ended up posting up here. Then YouTube took off like as soon as I got here, and I was like, okay, well I'm just gonna live here for a little bit and get my feet, get my roots down, get some foundation set before I get out of here. And so I'm just like you, dude. I have my head in the sand. Everything is NFTs. I don't even know what the fuck people talk about if it's not NFTs. Like I really don't know, and I don't care. I don't care yet. But
I mean, you get it,
anyways,
bro. You get it because you're a builder. That's what we are too. Like you've been building every day, even your own growth yourself. I've been watching you stay consistent every day. People might not realize how hard it is to put out valuable content that's, providing value every single day. And I really respect you and builders out there like yourself who are, providing that example of how to move in this space.
thanks, man. I really appreciate that. It is difficult posting every single day. I do have the benefit of just having made videos for a long time, and my friend Nate's the same. He's good. He's good at pumping out those videos, but it is hard, especially in a sea of promotions and money being. I mean, not for me yet, but like I'm sure there's some of these bigger YouTubers with like 100K where they're getting stupid expensive offers of like, hey, just throw this in your video real quick and we'll just give you a huge bag. And
Yeah,
it is tough sometimes to ward those off. But there's also so much happening in NFT space that it's almost easy at the same time to make valuable content. 'Cause there's always something happening somewhere
right.
else. And I'll make
True.
a video thinking everyone is over here. And then some news will pop up over here. And I'm like, wait, what? And then there's all these people who are only focused on this shit over here. And then you guys have your feudals community who only knows what's going on with feudals.
Yeah.
With your collabs, do you guys do collabs so much, or are you guys more just focused on feudals?
I mean, we like I just mentioned before, we do have two collabs going currently, and we'll have more to announce soon. But one with P Gojira and one with Capsule House with their yokai collection.
Mhm.
And so before, because we were delivering at such a voracious pace, we didn't really have too many collabs going. But as of late, it's something that our community suggested. So we've been doing a ton of whitelist opportunity collabs with a lot of projects. And then I think going back to your previous point as well too is, we also get approached by quote unquote marketers
Yeah,
and we could do the paid to show thing. But something I always stress to our community, with my background in photography and music and digital marketing and stuff, is content is king, right? And if you build a superior product through word of mouth, people will spread that product. Organic marketing
mhm,
is way more superior and impactful, and a slow growth is better than erratic growth, right?
100%.
And so I think partnering up collaborations within the NFT space with like-minded projects and individuals is crucial and is an example of organic marketing that will bring in the right type of people, right? It's not always the amount of eyes that come in; it's the quality of the traffic coming in, right? Like I don't want to just get 100,000 new people overnight. I would
Yeah.
rather build 5, 10 new people every day, and quality people that understand the vision and are here to stay.
Yeah. And also I think a lot of people say that, but then they don't actually mean it and they don't actually do it. And so that's something that's great from you guys because it is true. You can look at your track record. You don't have, I mean, you guys could have 150,000 followers on Twitter if you had gone that route easily, no problem. There's a lot
Yeah,
of projects that could have 10 times as many followers. And the good thing is the empty space, while there's a bunch of bad players, there's also a bunch of people who are just great people. And I haven't been to any big NFT meetups yet, but I am so excited for like NFT NYC. I missed NFT LA, which sucks. I wasn't able to go to that, but NFT NYC, I'm excited. Once I move to Seattle, I want to get some in person stuff. But it's cool because we're in this little bubble of NFTs, and yes, while there's those bad players, there are so many people who are just pumped to just be here and talk about NFTs and change the world and build a new whatever we're doing here. And this question I had that just popped up in my head a minute ago when you were talking, I thought was really interesting. How you said you have your DMs open and you try not to leave anyone on red if the best you can. Is it a necessity with an NFT project that's going to succeed to have a full-time person only dedicated to community managing? Because I do community managing and I also do my Discord managing and I also do my YouTube and I do all these things. But if I had a brand and I had one person only focused on just making sure the community was taken care of and nothing else, is that super, super important for projects?
I think so, and I think it's a staple of Web3, right? Like I think Web2 mentality is you have a bunch of people comment and you kind of ignore them. That too cool for school. I'm gonna play the
Yeah.
mysterious vibe over here. I'm not accessible,
Yeah.
which I never really liked. Right? I was always the dude that was kind of sharing the process and the secrets, so to say, about how to make it or how to move. And people would be
Hmm.
like, bro, why are you giving people the sauce? But it's like I can tell people, but it's up to them to put it into action, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is changing with Web3. Everyone is open and honest and vulnerable and kind of wants to uplift everyone together. There's space for everyone to succeed. And I think it's absolutely necessary to have, especially when you have a company, because that's basically what these projects are, that raise millions of dollars.
Hmm.
Now you have a responsibility to those people who have invested in your project, in your vision, to have that due diligence and have that open line of communication, to make sure that they're happy, to make sure that we're building this product together. And I know some people might have differing opinions, but I think it's super crucial to have someone, even the founders, like to be very connected to the community and to
Hmm.
have that open line of communication to show that community is not just a buzzword. We actually
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
building genuine relationships here.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think that I think people, if you can at least, if you're an NFT project, you launched, you got your mint, you got some cash. Hopefully, you had cash before, but hiring someone and delegating makes your life easier. And I think people don't want to delegate because you got to pay them usually, or you got to give them something. And it's like, well, we could just do it ourselves. Like I can be a community manager, but I think having someone dedicated to certain things, you guys have a full team for the game. It's not like they're doing the game and they're doing this and they're trying to manage the Discord. When everyone's doing their shit and everyone's focused on their shit, and you hire them for a specific reason, that's where you get something where a project is successful and the community doesn't light themselves on fire because
Yeah.
none of it's working because they're all trying to do the same thing. So that's super cool. Are you guys is FEUDALZ looking to go in real life as far as like NFT NYC, or are you guys mainly building online in the
We
digital
did
realm?
an IRL event already in Brooklyn.
Oh hell yeah!
And so there are some requests for us to take it global, take it across the nation, and we're
Oh shit!
definitely gonna take that into consideration and keep that going. But I think the IRL is crucial, right? We take the metaverse connections and we actually bring it into the physical realm and kind of solidify those friendships for life. Like
Yeah.
Feudals was a lot of first projects for a lot of people, and um it forged a lot of relationships. Like I see many groups of friends who formed inside of feudals and they've gone on to do their own projects, or
Hell yeah!
do their own art projects or whatever it may be, or form their own Discord servers or whatever. And I love that. I love seeing that. I love seeing that feudals was the catalyst for real community building, real relationships forged in the space. Because and I think that IRL events really, you know, put that even stronger, to have those connections for life, right? Like I've been talking to my boy online every day for a few months, and then I go see him in person. That's just gonna strengthen those bonds.
Yeah. 100%. And then I just want to go back here. I know we only have a few minutes left. to what you said about spilling the beans, basically, right? And
Mhm.
some people agreeing, some people not. That's something Gary V talks about all the time. You know, he's like, look, I can tell you guys all the answers, and you're still not gonna fucking do it. He goes, that's
Yeah,
why I can give out all the facts. He goes, because in this room of 100,000 people, one of you will do something with it.
yeah,
And I like to think that was me because Gary Vee touched my life. I mean, over like the course of like 2 years, he changed my life, and I started to
yeah.
absorb the way he thought. Do you have anyone who you think who's listening right now who could benefit from someone that inspires you, maybe, or helps you out in some way, shape, or form, a peer or
I mean,
strategy?
what do you mean? Like people from the
Like, do you have any?
community?
No, do you have anyone like that you look up to that's like a
Oh,
public
for
figure, maybe that other people can?
100% Gary Vee changed my life and was a huge source of information. I mean, he's a perfect example of how you should be moving into space. Mans gave out his phone number the other day on Twitter. I hit
That's
him up.
ridiculous,
I
dude.
hit him up. He hit me back, and he hit back a
Hey,
lot of
let's
people. You know
go.
what I mean? Like, um,
It's
I
funny.
I really look up to Gary Vee for sure because that man already had a successful business. He doesn't have
Mhm.
to move the way he does. He doesn't have to constantly be putting out up content and connecting with people on a personal level that he does, but he backs up his words with actions, and you can
Yeah.
see that, right? You can just watch how he moves and emulate that and be successful, right? Like he's actually showing you how to move. And someone who's a polarizing figure but I looked up to tremendously being a musician also is Kanye West, right?
Mm,
He kind of put out the blueprint, going back to a previous topic of he's so talented himself, but what does he do? If you look at the liner notes on his albums, he has over 100 people on there because he's bringing the
yeah.
best of the best to create a superior product, right? If you can delegate something to someone else or get someone smarter than you who's better in a different arena to help with what you're doing, you're going to create a better product. You're bringing an outside perspective, right? And
Yeah.
so that I think that's so crucial that even if you can do it yourself,
Yeah.
right, which is great to have that do it yourself attitude, but building with others is so crucial, especially when they have that specialized skill.
Mm,
And so that's why we do have a whole set of game devs, a front end, back end developer, an artist, a game designer, me on the community
yeah.
management side. And so I think it's super crucial to have a plethora of skills when you're building a product.
Dude, 100%. There's I think a lot of people. Yeah, you're right. Kanye is a super polarizing person. People have their opinions on him. You can't deny the fact that the dude is on another level on in literally every sense of
Yeah,
that word. He's in a different level. He's playing a different game. He's trying to change the world. And
yeah,
I have respect for people. I mean, regardless of like any small details, like I have respect for anyone who wants to change the world. That's something that resonates in my bones, and that's something that everyone has their own way of doing it. You know, he's got his music niche. He's got the way he does things. Gary's got the way he wants to do it. He wants to do a kids TV show. He wants to do a Disney World. Like everyone has their own thing. And I have a couple other questions, but I'm going to open up the floor for anyone who wants to ask any question about me, him, Feudals, the community, whatever. I just wanted to ask because I have you here and you're a community manager. You've been doing it successfully
sure.
for months now. The community is strong as fuck. What is two questions. One, how the fuck can people get involved in Web3? Because let's be honest, most people aren't making money flipping. And I think people think they are, but they're not. The reality is most people lose their money flipping. So I realized that very early on, and I said, "Fuck this! I'm gonna start selling the shovels and making content about the shovels rather than trying to
Yeah,
mine for gold."
yeah.
What is the way people can get involved in a Web3 brands,
I think
community, job?
yeah, I think getting involved. I think Web3 is the first time that rewards people for actually showing up every day, right?
Hmm.
So on Twitter
Yeah,
is the main platform where everyone is. Everyone in Web3 is on a small little bubble on Twitter. So if you start following the right people, see who they follow, see who they're engaging with, you start following the right people. You start maybe first listening in on Twitter Spaces, right? Start following all the speakers. Start saying GM every day to everyone.
yeah,
Start actually engaging in useful conversation start coming through in the smaller Twitter spaces. Now there's so many Twitter spaces, even if it's just 10 people, come through, request up, make genuine connections, ask questions. If someone's having a project launch, pull up their collection and be like, hey, what was the inspiration for this? How did you make this? What does this mean? How did you do this? How did you do that? I mean, people are here to help. People are here to share knowledge, and everyone's trying to provide value in this space. So I think getting involved every day in Twitter, and then you're right, it's tough to flip, but even if you can get involved in one project and show up every day on Discord, I mean, all our mods are just passionate community members that I saw through time every day. Like, oh, this person is Dot Pirate is over here answering questions. Basketball is over here asking questions. Picasso's coming in, bringing new people in every day. Okay, we gotta give these guys a bigger role in the 100%. Project, right? And so I think that's a great way to get involved. And I think people have to realize that it's not an overnight thing. You got to show up every day and contribute what you can, or even just ask questions. And I think in time, you will get rewarded, like 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you. Web3 is a place where, especially with me with YouTube, you know, I get rewarded the more content I put out, even if it's not in numbers or views. I get to put my name on everything. Anything that happens, I make a video about it. I've got my opinion out there. People, and it keeps me relevant, keeps the stuff relevant, keeps projects relevant, keeps news relevant. And so I agree completely there. And this will be my last question. I don't know if you guys have any questions to AMA. We fucking covered everything, so there might not be any questions, but this will be my last question, real quick. Is, as a head community manager, what's something you can tell for other community managers, because there's a lot of smaller projects out there, a lot of newer projects out there? Is there anything that you can drop that would help them out from your perspective?
First of all, ton of respect to all the community managers out there. I don't think they get enough credit. I don't think people truly understand how much work it goes into community managing. Like, before I saw people community managing, I thought it was just a cool little title. I was just a musician and photographer. But after actually being in community management for this many months, absolute utmost respect to everyone, all the community managers out there. One piece of advice or something that I can impart is, you know, really dedicate yourself, because you could be building genuine relationships for the rest of your life. And also, you know, we're dealing with real people on the other end. Like, we might just view them as shareholders or whatever, or just flippers or whatever it is. But I think it's a great experience to understand the human emotion, the human connection, understand what people are going through, put yourself in their shoes, and you know, have that compassionate nature and build up that empathy for people on the other side. The way that I'm able to connect with people, it's more than just NFTs for me, right? I'm just grateful and enjoying, like, even though I've been working my ass off, what makes it enjoyable to me is the way that I've been able to build relationships with everyone. And I wouldn't have been able to if I didn't put myself out there, right? And so the main thing I would say is, you know, be dedicated and be vulnerable enough to really build those connections.
Hell yeah. And we have, this will be the last question. George, real quick. Thank you for your question. George says, should a question put itself up for mint without building hype if you think it's going to be special, or should they spend some more time marketing first?
Yeah, George, I mean, we didn't have any hype at all. We were a complete stealth mint back in November. We didn't even know that we were going to put out the project. We had the project ready to go for a couple of months, and just randomly one night, the devs were on go, and we decided to drop the project. Yeah. And so we stayed up all night and dropped the project. And so I think having a feel for what the market wants, and I think that's what we did, right? We timed it out perfectly. Like that weekend happened to be, if you look at the graph, there was like a spike in interest on play to earn that weekend
Hell
that
yeah.
we dropped, right? And so we trusted our intuition. If you have an intuition that, you know, we don't have hype and we're committed for the long term and we're going to build slowly and consistently, and you feel that it's the right time, I would say go for it. But at the same time, make sure that you have enough of deliverables. Make sure that you're not just, it's not empty promises and you just have a bunch of buzzwords on your roadmap. Like, make sure you have everything set to go and deliver before you actually launch, to build up that trust with your community, because that's what's gonna really carry you to the promised land.
Yeah, 100%. And it matters what you're trying to get. If you're just trying to make a bunch of money right off the mint because you have no money to get started, then it's probably not smart. But if you're like, I don't like, if you really understand what it takes to build a business, it doesn't matter when you launch. You know, you're going to build the business regardless. So it's like, hopefully, I think for a lot of people, if you don't have any liquid and you don't have any capital to get started, it's way harder. But if you do have capital, that's where it's way easier because you're not reliant on their mint. You're not reliant on the marketing. You're like, look, here's what I'm going to build. At some point, people will find the value. And that's why I haven't dropped my collection. A lot of people have asked why I haven't done an NFT project. And I'm just like, fam, I'm a YouTuber right now. That's a full-time job. And I'm already doing a full-time job. I can't do both. I'm still building this. At some point, I'll do my collection maybe. And I will, you know, at that point, my brand will be big enough to where I won't need to do marketing. It'll just be the fact that it's my project.
And I
And
think
it'll be like a Gary.
don't realize that selling out a collection is step one.
Yeah.
I think people from the outside perspective, they see that as the end goal. But
Mhm.
really what happens is now you have a group of individuals, maybe thousands, that are now relying on you to keep providing value for that community. And that takes a lot of consistent hard work. Your work only begins after selling out. Right now you have to build a product,
Yeah.
and keep delivering consistently. Otherwise, you know, you might be considered a slow rug or something. I don't know.
Yep. That's how it is, man. Well, and then NFT space moves fast as fuck. And again, I want to say thank you for coming on. This was fun.
Of course. Before we sign off here, do you
Yeah.
want to showcase our teaser trailer that we just launched? It's on YouTube. I think if you type in on YouTube FEUDALZ.
Yeah, I know. With Restream, I can't always know if the volume goes through, and I can't know until I'm watching it after. So I'm gonna play it on my phone because I know I can control the audio and visual. So tell me what to look up.
Okay, look up FEUDALZ V2 plus lands. Otherwise, I'll send you the link on Twitter right now. One sec.
FEUDALZ V2.
Hold on.
Wait, say it again. What is it?
I'm sending you the link right now on Twitter DM.
Damn, bro, you just got the compliment of the year right here.
What happened?
From Gabriel. SESH is so cool and so handsome. Let's go.
That's the homie. What's up, Gabe?
Let's go. Okay, here we go. I got it.
I'm pretty sure Cade is the handsome one.
Okay, I think I found it. All right.
And yeah, best of luck, George. Go for it, bro.
Yeah,
especially if you have a team and everything in place.
100%. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, this is the best it's going to be. Hold on, let me.
Okay.
All right, y'all ready? 3. Shit, I can't see.
Or should I share screen? I can share screen.
Well, the thing is with share screen, the audio doesn't always go through on any kind of streaming services.
It's fine. Let's just share screen.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Let's do it. Yeah, I think you should be able to share your screen, or I can share mine. Actually, you know, if I go through the Chrome browser, I think I can.
Oh, it's giving me the permission thing again. I already gave permission.
I know it's ridiculous. Here, I think I should be able to pull it up actually.
Okay.
1 second. Because I usually share my screen through the window, but I think if I share it just with Google Chrome, the audio will play. And actually, we can test it, and I can check on YouTube as it's playing because I can just play it on my phone.
Yeah, even
right.
if the audio doesn't come through, it's fine.
It's still good. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let me share my screen.
And with a little visual eye candy.
All right.
We
Chrome
worked really
tab.
hard on this. Shout out Chase, who did the trailer here. Worked
Yeah.
super
Okay.
hard on this one.
Can you see it? Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go. Let's see if this plays. I hope there's sound. I'm gonna listen here and see if there is.
Yeah, I hear it.
Hell yeah, got sound. Oh, the sound effects. Yo, that was fucking good. I love that. I
Game
love
of
that.
Thrones vibes. But yeah, V2
Damn, that
beta
was
is out right
good.
now. Full version of V2 coming soon with the Landsman. Thank you again.
Hell yeah.
Thank you again, Cade, for
Yeah.
everything. Appreciate you.
Yeah, 100%.
Consider
That was
you
fucking
a
awesome.
great friend in the space and keep killing it, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Guys, if you made it to the very end, code word, we're going to get this in the chat. If you're watching this live or not, code word's going to be FEUDALZ, so we know you made it to the end. Yeah, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. I have his stuff linked down below in the description. Like the video, smash the like button, especially if you're in the chat right now. Smash the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, do all the things. And until next time, continue on your Joyage, continue to learn, and be grateful you're alive watching this video.